I've been recording for the last 15 minutes.
All right, Richard. We got to talk about it. Did you watch the Oscars?
Ooh. You know, I didn't. However, for some reason, I don't know what happened, but my Twitter fucking exploded.
Yeah. Like, people at work were talking about it, and I was like, all right, like, I really don't care. Like, it's the Oscars. And after, like, the sixth message about, like, memes or whatever, I was like, all right, let me see this. Like, because in my mind, I was like, oh, this was totally fake. Like, it was some kind of preconceived thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's Will Smith and Chris Rock. And then I watched it, and I was like, ooh, I don't think that was fake.
I wasn't happy.
Yeah. And then, like, when I heard about, like, it happening, and, like, people like kind of people were assuming, it was like, no, it wasn't fake. Like, it was real. I'm like, holy shit, what kind of joke did he tell? Did he talk about, like, Jada and all the dudes she's been with? Because, like, that would piss me off. And then I heard the joke, and I was like, oh, really? All right.
Yeah, that's my thing is, like, I mean, was the joke, like, in poor taste? I mean, I guess. Like, if you like really stopped and thought about it, sure. However, it did not warrant that response.
No.
I really don't know what warrants that response. Oh, wait, no, I do. Anything less than that.
I mean, like, if that joke was made, like, after party or, like, in the back, then maybe. Or at least, like, a stern, like, dude, that's, like, super inappropriate and, like, leave. But, like...
Or maybe he didn't even know.
Well, he probably... Well, about her health thing or whatever. Like,
about her alopecia. Like, he might not have even known.
Well, I think she released a video, like, 6 days ago saying that she was proud of her. I don't know if she talked about her alopecia or her alpaca. But...
She has an alpaca?
I would assume so. They've got a lake. They've got a freaking, like, 300-acre lake compound called Her Lake that he bought for her.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you have animals on it.
I bet they do. I bet they have like a whole zoo.
Shawn, I have a yard. Do you think that I don't have like a goat in the back?
Well, you don't have like 300 acres in like a 200-acre pond, a lake, not a pond. It's big. Like, you got that much land, like, you gotta let stuff roam. Like, even if you don't mean to, you've got stuff there. Like, you're gonna walk outside and walk a few distance and be like, oh, look, an alpaca. Didn't know I had that.
Accidental goats.
Where'd these come from? Last owners? I mean, that's what happens, like, when you buy, like, Pedro Escobar's place. Like, you got hippos living in the river.
Ah, it's true.
Yeah, we talked about that.
You're not wrong.
But, I mean, to be fair, though, like, any of those, like, you could look at any of those jokes and be like, man, those are super inappropriate. Because, like, the joke he was telling before about, I don't know who they were. It was a guy and a girl, and both were up for the best male, best female, I think. And, like, he was basically saying, like, hey, if she doesn't win and you do, she's going to be pissed. Basically, he's calling her, like, a selfish bitch. Subtly. Like, wouldn't that be something like, hey, she's got morals. She cares about my success. I mean, they're just jokes.
Like, nothing merited. You know, that was like, I'm going to give you a 3 and you're coming back at me with like a 15.5.
Yeah. And then he wins the award like 5 minutes later.
Man.
Yeah.
I think that was.
Yeah, it's not
I'll
a good look.
tell you what, like, I think that at that point, I think that probably whoever, like, I think that the Academy, like, probably had their fingers crossed that he would lose.
Well, they would already know, right? I mean, I don't think it's like a super secret. Like, most people would know that he's going to win. Not necessarily.
I mean,
him,
I think he was the odds-on favorite.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just, I don't know. Like, it's just like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah. Well, now think about it too. Like, you know, like next year they probably won't have any jokes at all because they don't want to repeat offense of it. So they're going to like make it even more dull.
I mean, honestly, like, if I'm a comedian, I'd be like, I don't want that fucking gig.
No. Well, like,
I mean, and not because I'm afraid that somebody's going to walk up and punch me in the face. That's not my, like, it's just like, it does not seem worth it.
No. Well, and like, you think about like Chris Rock in that moment. Like, so the one thing
because I would say that arguably Chris Rock has probably been the best host of the Oscars, because he hosted the Oscars like 3 or 4 or 5 different years.
Yeah, he's on those all the time, and he was the most professional out of all of that. Because like, could you imagine like if like let's say you're on stage and you make a joke, and like you're like, hey, Sean's wife's gonna be, in the next G.I. Jane because she decided to shave her head, and I walk up and smack you for no reason. Like, the next thing you're going to do, like, we're best friends, you're probably going to haul off and hit me.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, you're not going to be happy. Like, if that happened to me, like, the anger I would feel, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck all this. I'm out. I'm done. Like, I'm just, I'm done.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that he had, I think I would have enough gumption to not retaliate. However, I do think that I would have just like set my microphone down on the stage and just walked off. I mean, like, nah, nope. Yeah, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah, I feel like it was just because like in that moment, like I feel like they're always in like this. They have this like mask on the whole time, and in that little moment, like I felt like Chris Rock kind of was like the blinds were kind of pulled down because he was kind of fumbling with stuff. And it's like, all right, got to put my Hollywood mask back on, make believe that all this stuff is, important.
Well, see, that's the thing is like, at the end of the day, like, what do you have to be so upset about?
Man, I said in one of our chats, like, I've listened to Will Smith's book. I'm serious. Like, there's something not like super great with that guy right now. Like, you think like, oh my God, you get to make all these movies, you got all this money. Like, I don't think his home life is the best. I don't think his life has turned out as he was hoping.
I mean, maybe.
But
Jesus Christ, I would think that if anyone is in a position to radically change their situation into whatever they wanted, I would think that if anybody has the means and the capability, I would think it would be Will Smith.
Yeah, I mean, he could be done with everything and be like, nope, not acting anymore. And that's always weird. Like when they like, you feel like those people get stuck in that kind of like that Hollywood world. Like it's almost like they don't leave for some reason. Like I was hearing somebody talk about like Mark Wahlberg like has this ridiculous schedule where he has 4 movies in the can at one time, and basically every 3 months he's finishing a movie, and just insane hours for like what? Because it doesn't seem like it's enjoyment.
Like for what?
Yeah, because we always like
the day for what? I work a fuck ton, but I do it because I have to. Like if you're Will Smith, I mean, I dare say that 90% of the things you do are optional
at this point. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, is it actually optional? Is there some kind of like, not like, I'm not saying like,
like, okay, like you just said, like he's got, fucking 300 acres and blah, blah, blah. Like, what if you just went to like a fucking 3-bedroom bungalow in fucking Connecticut
that he already owns like 3 of,
and you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna I'll hang out. I'll fucking play some video games. I'll go to the fucking store, and
that's why I always respect.
Just fucking hang out. I'll hang out with my kids.
Yeah, like the Kevin Smiths and like Robert Patterson's. Like they do like the big things that like make them money, and now they're like, you know what? I'm not doing like the big like 3 movies a year Hollywood thing. I'm just gonna do fun stuff.
Yeah. Why the fuck not, man?
Yeah,
why not just do that shit?
And I don't know if it's a personality thing. Like they just get like, it's just what they do. Yeah, I don't know. But that felt
I think that you probably do. You have to be of a certain mindset to get to that level of success. And it's probably hard to switch off. But nobody's a fucking robot. Like you're not incapable of understanding. Like they're not dumb people. Will Smith's not a dumb person. You would think that at some point he'd be like, why am I you would think that he would have the the self-actualization and the presence of mind to just be like, what am I really doing this for?
Yeah.
Like, am I doing this because I want to, or am I doing this because it's, fulfilling a certain part of me? Or is it just, I'm not saying just for the paycheck, but am I doing this? Are my reasons for fucking grinding and and not just, hanging out with my kids and my wife?
I don't know anything about like Will Smith specifically, but I wonder if like some of them get stuck in that like almost like that Britney Spears situation where they're not even really in control of what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
So like, he's got some, I don't know if I wouldn't say his wife, or maybe it's a manager or some company he signed contracts with, or, like, is it something like that keeps forcing him to do those things?
I don't know. I feel like part of me feels like right now, like I'm excusing the behavior away, and I'm not. I'm really not.
No, we're not.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, apologize all you want. Like, that shit was uncalled for. And not only is it uncalled for, not only did you fuck up and do something stupid, but you also basically ruined a major achievement that you've probably really wanted. Like, you've sullied that entire experience.
Yeah. Well, not only him, but like everybody else. Like, nobody's talking about anything else that won. They're just talking about that. So he took that moment away from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just like you see that, like, I say it was like raw emotion, but like this like uncontrolled anger. And then 5 minutes later, he's on stage giving what very much felt like an acted out speech. You're like, you talk to somebody, Will? Like,
at the end of the day, like, I mean, I genuinely don't care.
Yeah.
However,
and the problem is like this podcast is coming out like a month after too. Like, we're recording it like a couple days later. It's like we're gonna find out. Like,
we brought it back up.
Yeah,
back in the medium, bitches.
But like in that month range, like something's gonna come out, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, we can't talk about that." And here we are, episode whatever, a month later. Hey, how do you feel about that Will Smith thing? Will Smith killed himself. Oops.
Oh God, why'd you do that?
So if like that happens, we should probably edit this out, right?
I mean. Either that, or you should be interviewed.
Like, are you Nostradamus? Like, I don't know who that is. And no.
Did you kill him?
I do like the movie I Am Legend, though, and I'm excited. And the most upsetting thing about this suicide by Will Smith is the fact that I won't get I Am Legend 2. That's really the worst thing? Yeah.
Yep. The best thing is we won't get another Independence Day.
Well, he wasn't in the second one. He's like, I don't do shitty sequels. It's like, really? Men in Black 2? All right. But, Richard, if that does happen, what we can do, we'll just move to an island and pick up a new citizenship.
Is there an island that we can do that?
I don't know. Kick off this show and we'll find out.
Yay! What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. Shawn is going to tell me about an island. And I love an island. When was the last time you were on an island?
It would have been my honeymoon.
Hey, wait a minute. How do you get to an island? Because that means you got to fly over water. And I know you don't like flying over water.
It's not my favorite. When we fly to Cancun, we're over the water for about maybe 2/3 the trip, and it's definitely
Cancun's not an island.
No, but the way to get there, you got to fly over the water. I think it's the Gulf you're flying over. I can never remember which side. I don't think is it the Gulf?
Yeah, it's the Gulf. It's the Gulf of Mexico, because Cancun's in Mexico, and there's stop making a map with your fingers. Oh God, he's Googling now.
I am.
The Gulf of Mexico is, oh jeez, I want to buy you a globe so bad.
It's kind of like on.
You've like been there like more than once, and you're like, where is it again?
Well, it's between the Gulf and the Caribbean Sea. I think it's technically the Gulf.
Where do you fly out of?
St. Louis. We fly over the Gulf.
So you fly over the Gulf.
Yeah.
You're not flying from Miami. So
well, Miami technically, I don't know if it hit the Caribbean or not. Yeah, because Miami.
Miami.
Going
So
to my getting jiggy with it. Na 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 na.
He's probably dead now.
Probably. He's probably moved to his island. Because he bought her lake, and then he bought his island. Because she's like, hey, I've got some of my friends coming over to her lake.
Have you ever been on an island?
Yeah, so there's a Isla Mujeres, which is Island of the Women, in around Cancun. And on our honeymoon,
do there, Shawn?
We rented a golf cart and drove around it. And it was pretty cool.
Drove around the Island of Women?
Yep. Drove around the Island of Women, which was interesting.
Why is it called the Island of Women? Funny story. There is also an island called the Isle of Man.
I'd rather go to the Island of the Women.
Well, would you?
Yeah, probably not, because that's probably where they like throw stones at the man, cut off his dick. Like, we deserve this.
Rock.
We deserve this. No, so we drove around. And it's funny because when we went in 2013, it's very much more of like the European, like a lot of Europeans go there. And so like we were in Cancun proper. And so it was like, bikinis, like, whatever. But like on that island, it was all like thongs. I was like, whoa, like this is skimpy swimsuit stuff.
Yeah. All the dudes are in Speedos.
Yeah, they are too.
Yeah.
But
that's a European thing.
The couple times that we've been back to like Cancun, like each time we go, the outfits get skimpier and skimpier.
You know
why?
That is? I think it has something to do with America and its puritanical roots. I think because we were settled by Puritans, that like our views on sex and the body haven't really. Like it's an ice flow. It's a glacier when it comes to switching that mindset. And so you go to the beach like in Europe or South America or almost basically anywhere but America, and it's all Speedos because it's like, wear a Speedo. Who gives a shit?
Well, I know, like dudes, I think it's always like, because I did want to wear a Speedo, but I didn't. Because I think Tiffany actually didn't want me to wear one. And probably because I was like, you don't want anybody to see this massive banana, huh? She's like, well, no, I just don't want anybody being like, haha, little smoky. I'm like, wait, what? What does that mean?
Oh,
the pool's cold. We shouldn't have gone in August.
But see, that's the thing, Shawn. Nobody cares. No, Nobody's
not about dudes. But like, I mean, you say that too, but like if you look at like 50s and 60s swimsuits, like they were skimpy. Like they were showing lots of skin.
In the 50s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you look back at some of those, and maybe not like everybody, but I think that's even like today. Like there's still some women who don't feel comfortable wearing like a thong or a bikini. They wear like a one piece. I think now it's just more of like whatever you're comfortable with. Like I don't feel like there's as much shaming on what you wear. And like I would say,
I'm saying that I would attribute the shaming to. I would attribute the shaming more to Americans than the rest of the world, because we are the ones that wear like swimming trunks that like go down to the knees, and women wear like one-piece bathing suits and shit like that.
Not very common. I mean, I bet if you went to Europe, you'd see that still. I mean, definitely in Europe, you will see like a lot of older women like just wearing like thong bikinis and old dudes wearing Speedos. Like, I think now like you'll see a lot more
nobody gives a
shit.
Women.
No, but again, I think it's just what you're comfortable with. But I do see what you're saying. I think there is probably some tie to that. If that's better or worse, I don't know. But
it's worse, Shawn. We need to embrace each other and our Speedos.
I think we should all wear like the old teens swimsuits, like even the dudes and the caps. When you're swimming, you're like, are you a boy or girl?
We should all wear Speedos, and then we should join hands and run down the beach and sing Age of Aquarius.
But Richard, if you want, we can pitch in some money and we can move to a new island and do that. So this is a CNN article.
Okay, so yes, you mentioned a new island. I wanna learn, and I'm here to learn. I am your student, and I want you to teach me about this new island.
Yeah, so it opens up,
okay,
Richard.
Wait a minute. Who owned this island or owns this island?
You'll see, Richard.
Oh, God.
The
this
internet.
Who I think it
the
is.
internet owns this island. No, we're not going to. No, Richard. No.
Not that island. Not that island. Okay.
We could go over the list of people who've been on that island, and they should all probably be at the bottom of an ocean, but we won't list it off because
nope, can't say it. Nope.
No. Yeah. No.
Even though we know he did. Yep. Okay. Still can't say it. Okay.
Nope.
Even though he definitely did.
But who wouldn't want to buy an island, Richard? That's what Marshall Mayer asks above the roar of the engine as the boat cuts through the still waters of the Caribbean Sea.
Oh, we're in the Caribbean, so we don't have to go far.
No, it's close. So Belize City is fast disappearing behind as a group of covered islands grow larger on the horizon. And I don't know about you, said Mayer, but I certainly can't afford to buy an island on my own.
Belize, so Mexico. Okay. So I think I know where we're at.
Yeah, it's
so we're off the coast of Belize.
Yeah, so I think if you look at like where Cancun is, because I just looked at the map, I think it's a little bit south.
Yeah, it's south. Yeah,
it's not in the Gulf of Mexico. It's in the Caribbean Sea,
Central America, Shawn.
Around Will Smith's island, his island, it's like close by, I think. So Mayer is the co-founder of Let's Buy an Island, an ambitious project that in 2018 set out to crowdfund the purchase of an island.
Oh, okay. So we're going to kickstart an island.
Yeah, it's like a timeshare.
It's probably Patreon Islands. Patreon Islands.
Yeah. Well, I saw the price, and it's actually not like it's expensive, but it's not like super expensive. But by 2019, the group's aspirations became reality, raising over $250,000 to complete the purchase of Coffee Calle, a 1.2-acre uninhabited island off the coast of Belize. Now, Richard, I don't know if you're really in tune with like farmland or what it means to like an acreage, what that looks like. 1.2 acres, not that much.
No, it's not. 1.2 acres is let's see. I'm trying to trying to put it in perspective. About like maybe
if you look at like a normal suburban like maybe. Yeah, like if you look at like a normal suburban like plot, it's probably right about like an acre to an acre and a half.
A suburban plot? Like 1950s
like if you have like if you're in
plot?
like a subdivision. No, like just like nowadays. Like you go to any like suburban area, like when they've got like the like a what would you call those? Like a neighborhood. What are those things called?
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
Yeah, they might be more like the 0.75, but I mean, even if you double them up, like a smaller one, that you're right about this range. It's like not big.
Yeah. No.
So the investors weren't just buying into
$250,000 for like was the equivalent of like 2 houses.
Yeah. Island $250,000.
That seems like too much.
Well, I mean, they're not making more islands. This isn't Superman 1 or Superman Returns.
1 or 3 or Superman Returns or
Smallville or any other movie. I mean, there's only so many volcanoes spitting out lava making islands.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that aside from the dirt and the trees, I'm saying trees plural, assuming that there's more than one tree, but aside from plants and ground, I would think that there is nothing else.
Yeah, and like some of the pictures, like it looks like there's a lot more beach than actual like island. So like there's like a good section that's like 6 inches of water, and there's a tree in this picture.
Yeah, see, $250,000 for no.
Yeah.
See, I can't get behind this.
But Richard, it's not just buying an island. These investors weren't just buying into a share of the Belizean property. They were also investing in an unusual nation-building project. They were going to reimagine Coffee Caye as the Principality of Islandia.
The Principality of Islandia.
Yeah, probably Islandia. It's more island. But I like Islandia better.
See, they missed a golden opportunity there because, fuck. What was that Marx Brothers movie? What was that? Fredonia. They should have named it Fredonia.
I think there already is a Fredonia, isn't there, in the micronations?
No
we talked
idea.
about this like years ago.
I don't know if there is actually a Fredonia.
Yeah, but they want to complete it with their own national flag, anthem, and government, and it's also the world's newest micronation, which we talked about before. So what a micronation is, like the one we talked about before, was a old like World War II like bombing, alerting, building thing out in the middle of the ocean.
Yes,
in the
you're
channel
talking
in
about
England.
the mighty nation of Sealand.
Yeah, Sealand. And
which, remember, if you remember, got raided and was overthrown, but then the former leader returned and kicked butt like an action movie.
Yeah, mighty forces.
It was like a Steven Seagal movie if Steven Seagal was
Steven Seagal
cool and not himself.
But basically, like, micronations are kind of like self-identified nations. So they have their own government, flag, everything, except they're not really recognized by the international community. So, like, Russia isn't going out to Islandia asking for any resources or help because, one, they don't have any on their 1.2 acre plot of island.
That's true.
And two,
like, we want your tree.
And I was like, well, come and get it. Like, well, we're busy right now. Oh, God, hopefully nothing worse has happened since we...
What would you do? See, okay, so let's say, Shawn, that you are the president of Islandia. What's do you
our GPD
do
at this point?
What do you do with yours? Like, what do you do with yourself? Do you try to get recognized by the international community? You have nothing to trade. You have nothing to export. All you can do is just import.
Yeah,
you don't have the money for that.
At this point, you kind of do like Sealand, where you're just like sending out like fake, night ships, and you're trying to get people to come out to take pictures, and you're just trying to like make a buck. Because you have no.
I heard. You see those commercials for like, be a Scottish lord and pay X amount of money, and we'll send you a certificate, and because you own a piece of land in Scotland. Do you know what they actually do for that? Like like some of those places, it is complete bullshit, but some of them it's super legit. But do you know how they do it? They basically buy like you said, they buy like an acre or 2 acres, and then they divide it up into 1 square foot parcels.
Yeah.
And then that's how they sell them out. So when they say that you own a plot of land in Scotland, it's a 1 foot by 1 foot square.
I mean, you think about that, like that's no different than somebody spending like a ton of money on like somebody's old farm, and then they plot it out and they sell like each plot of land, which like might be like an acre and a half for like, probably 5 times what they actually paid for it.
Oh, sure.
I mean, they do invest other money to, put roads and crap like that in there for a subdivision to get created. But still, that's a more small, like, blue collared way of kind of making like that kind of money.
I mean,
it's not a bad idea.
It's technically legit because yes, you are a landowner in Scotland. Like,
I wonder if you can do that in the States.
Well, I don't know if you can. I don't know if we don't have lordships.
I can make a micronation. Richard, I got 10 acres. We can make a micronation out of like, I got some shitty spots in this where I can't do anything with. We'll just do that.
That's a good point.
And then I'll charge them because of all like the foliage and stuff that they're not cleaning up.
You need to come up with a cool name. See if you come up with a cool name, be like, I mean, because you could be like, oh, do you want to be a Lord of Islandia, whatever that is, or do you want to be a Lord of Amazement? Like, fucking Ravenwood Pussy Getter.
Yeah, I like that. And I'll be like, there's too much wood in your plot of land. I'm like, yeah, there is. There are a lot of trees around here, Richard, so like I could charge them extra.
Yeah,
and then when they don't pay,
Lord Shawn of Ravenwood Pussy Getter. And then people are like, that's so fucking metal. And you're like, yeah,
like, yeah, that's our national anthem. What's our flag? You know what our flag is. It looks like female genitalia. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, with a fucking eagle on it. Wait, I thought it was Ravenwood. Yeah, but eagles look amazing on a flag. Check it out.
What do you call your flag? Like, you got old glory, you got all kinds of things. What do you call your flag? I call it her flag. Well, why do you call it her flag? You know why. Look at it.
Because I always lower it. Wait.
I always
hang on.
Go down on it. I don't know. Anyway, so the feeling of stepping into an island
on holidays?
No. Not here at Ravenloft Pussy Getter. And Ravenwood's Pussy Getter. Every day's a national go down day.
Full mass. There it goes.
So that feeling of stepping onto an island that you've invested in and own, said Mayor after the 15-minute boat ride from Belize. That's an amazing feeling. So it's a democratic community, Richard.
Okay.
So for Mayor, it is also the culmination of years of crowdfunding and island hunting efforts. And he was animated to show it off in this article. So this article comes from CNN. So,
all right.
Yeah, so it's legit. It's not from CNN Plus. It's from CNN proper.
So does anyone actually live on the island?
So in the pictures that I saw, it doesn't look like somebody actually lives. Like people, like they have pictures of people with tents there. So I think it's more of like if you buy into it, you can kind of go and stay. Like I said, I feel like this is more of a timeshare kind of thing.
God, it's like Fire Festival, isn't it?
Well, except it's safer because you get to bring your own tent and your own cheese sandwiches. So the initial idea of the crowdfunding line emerged almost 15 years ago when Gareth Johnson, who is the co-founder and CEO of the project, bought the domain name letsbuyAnisland.com after deciding it might be fun to buy an island and start a micronation. So again, Richard, this is the internet's fault, right? Like we live in a time where you're like, it'd be funny. Hey, let me check this out. You go to GoDaddy.com.
Yep. This is
RavenwoodPussyGetter.com. Oh shit, it's available. Babe, I need the credit card.
I'm gonna GoDaddy Ravenwood Pussy Getter.
So he looked.
I gotta hurry before somebody else buys it. Nobody else is gonna buy that.
Why are you always shitting on my dreams? I was gonna put you on the flag.
Well, I mean, not all of you, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. You don't even know where to put it.
Am I right?
She's like, you wouldn't even know where to put it. Wait, what?
On a pole?
Yeah. Are you talking about? What are you talking about? The hole? The third hole?
You trying to get through college? Because it's on the pole. Anyway.
So when a hardcore customer base dedicated to visiting political disputed destinations, the notion of buying an island in order to start a micronation was one that would resurface again and again. So in 2018, when an island in the Philippines came up for sale, Johnson's old idea of crowdfunding an island was reignited. So he kept this like domain for a while. He's like, no, this will be the year.
It's going to pan out. Trust me. Trust me, guys.
So when Gareth first put the idea to me, I thought, God, no, this will never become a reality. But he began to explain how much an island might cost, and we recognized that actually there are parts of the world where buying an island was much more realistic than I'd ever thought possible. So you're asking about price, Richard. So the founding members established early on that each share in the island would cost $3,250. So far, they have sold almost 100 shares and counting.
Again, it seems like too much.
Well, it depends. I mean, I don't know. Like, I have to start looking at taxes on this. Because, like, this picture that they're showing right here, it actually looks really nice. There's a handful of palm trees. Everybody's got their tents. It's 15-minute boat ride from Belize. Like, it may not be real bad. So a short list of islands in the Philippines, Malaysia, Ireland, Panama, and Belize was drawn up after extensive research. So Kaya Kea was purchased for $180,000 plus taxes. So I think that gets us to about the $250,000 mark.
Okay.
And the sale was complete in December of 2019, right before COVID-19 put a halt to any future plans.
Oh, no. Yeah. Because you just buy an island and then fucking travel gets kiboshed. Can't go anywhere.
And you go on there and they're like,
I'll tell you what, if there's one place that you might be safe from COVID, it very may well be a desert island surrounded by nothing but water.
Yeah, you have to worry about COVID-19. Or you don't have to worry about COVID-19 anymore. You only have to worry about starvation.
Yeah, and STDs.
Yeah. Well, no, because when you get there, you have to isolate for 2 weeks. But then at that time, your vacation's up, so you got to go home.
Yeah. And crabs.
Nobody breaks the COVID-19 rules on Principality of Islandia, Richard. What do they do if you do? They make you leave the island. But I can't swim that far.
So you said it's a democratically run micronation. Are there laws? Like, is there a government set up? If let's say the rich and prosperous nation of Ravenwood Pussygetter would like to establish relations with the nation of Islandia, how would we go about doing that? Who is our point of contact?
They do have a prime minister, Richard. It's Jody Hill.
You're going to say Foster, aren't you? Jodie Foster.
Jody Foster Hill. So it's got a national day too, which is February 11th. It's a principality, is their government style. Their flag's kind of neat looking. It's got a big blue like rectangle with a sun in the middle, like to the left middle, and then like 4 green lines.
That's nice.
It kind of looks like a T-Rex when you look at it.
Everything looks like a T-Rex if you look at it right.
That's true.
Yeah. See? Everybody thinks I'm crazy when I say that, but it's true.
Yeah, no, I buy it.
Close one eye and squint really hard and look at anything, and you can find a T-Rex.
So
sometimes it's a T-Rex and a top hat. I don't know why. I don't know how it happens, but it happens.
Those are only special ones, though, like when you're feeling feisty.
Yeah.
So this allows for escapism and experimentation. So successfully crowdfunding the purchase of an island might be a world first, but there's a strong precedent of micronations that provide inspiration for the Principality of Islandia. So this kind of goes into micronations, which we talked about. So the Principality of Sealand, the one we talked to, was the World War II fighting platform.
Yep.
Another is the Republic of Eusupus, a neighborhood in Vilnius, Lithuania, that has its own constitution and also claims independence. I don't remember if we talked about that one or not.
Okay.
But for Johnson, turning Cafe Calle into a micronation is a form of escapism and experimentation. So who hasn't dreamed of making up their own country? So he kind of goes into kind of like, the last, number of years with everything going on, COVID, politics, whatnot.
Sure.
He just kind of thought, like, what if a bunch of regular people can make this work? Perhaps it can be, Richard. He said it. He said it. Perhaps, Richard, talking to you, it could be a force for good.
Maybe it could. I'm all for it. I am down with the Principality of Islandia.
Yeah, I feel like any of these things.
Know, let's see. What would be You know what I always wonder when it comes to like all these micronations and stuff? Do you are there things that micronations are allowed to do that that you don't think about, but you're like, oh yeah, I guess they could. Like, could they put people in the Olympics?
I doubt it, because one, you probably have to pay a huge sum of money to be part of the Olympic committee. Like So I bet you can't do as much as you think. It's probably all kind of like, it's kind of like when your kid's like, hey, I'm Superman, I make the rules. You're like, yeah, sure, whatever, kid.
Is it all just like up in the air?
Yeah.
And I mean, if that's the case, that it's all just kind of like, well, I mean, you can't really do much because there isn't really like established guidelines, then doesn't it make you go, well, shit, like, does that mean that like it's all like, is it all bullshit, Shawn?
Oh yeah. Well, think about it, Richard. So like, they're like, oh, we're a micronation. But really they're still probably technically owned by Belize. Like, you think about, like, you go out and you buy a plot of land. You're like, this is my land. I own this. And then Uncle Sam comes knocking in 20 years. Is like, you know what? Yeah, you don't.
I want to put a Walmart here.
Yeah. Wait, what? Like, no, you didn't pay no, I paid my taxes. Yeah, I don't care.
Eminent domain. Walmart.
Yeah. We're going to put a road through here. But this is my house. Yeah, we don't care. We're going to pay you fair market value.
It's road.
Yeah.
Basically that's the plot hook of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they're going to put an interstellar road through Earth.
An interstellar highway.
I don't know how common that is now. I'm sure it still happens. But I mean, you just think about, like, we say like we're allowed to own land and stuff, but like when it comes down to it, do you really own it? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we don't really own anything.
The things that you own you, per the great Papa Roach song.
Look at that.
Angels and Insects.
Look at you. You're getting existential on me.
Yeah. Which that song is actually based on Fight Club.
I was going into this weird spiral in my head about late stage capitalism, but I'm glad to see that you decided to kind of turn it inward. I think that's in a way healthier.
Like when you say like Walmart, yeah, that's kind of late stage capitalism. But like when you think like a road, like that's just government, or government be like, hey, we're going to put a government thing here. Like it's all overreach.
Yes.
Or like your parents have a bunch of land, they die, and the government say like, hey, you owe us like tons of money. Why? Well, because your parents died and they own this land. Yeah, but they paid for it and paid taxes on it for 30 years. Yeah, you still owe us money.
No, I didn't. Turns out they didn't.
It's like, but I want to keep it. Well, yeah, well, then you pay us for that. But my parents owned it. That doesn't matter. You owe us money. But I can't afford that. Fun. Well, why don't you sell the farm to this big company? But, goodbye, family farm.
Oof. Late stage capitalism.
And then Will Smith comes in. He's like, I'm going to call this my lake. Like, there's not even a lake on. Oh, there's a bulldozer. Turn it on.
He's making a lake. It really is his lake. He made it himself.
I'd slap him, but I can't get anywhere close to him. Like many micronations before it, the Principality of Islandia has begun building all the traditional trappings of a nation state. There's a national anthem, an Islandia flag, and a government that's elected from amongst the investors. Johnson even jokes that he holds the hush-hush role of head of secret police.
Oh, okay. See, I'm a little nervous because I don't like the words secret police.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a joke, which I assume it would be because like if I show up on this island, it's like I got to frisk you before you can get on here. I'm like, well, I'm gonna need a refund of my money then.
Yeah, and then he's like, "No, it's okay. I'm secret police," and you're like, "Yeah, well, I'm unsecret funder."
Yeah, I'm like, well, guess what? There's only 2 of us on this secret micronation island, and there's lots of sharks in these waters. Good thing you didn't bring a bang! Investors and visitors to Cafe Ka automatically became citizens of the Principality of Islandia. There will be a novelty Islandia passport too, and anyone can support the micronation by purchasing citizenships or titles such as Lady or Lord of Islandia for a small fee.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I feel like it's just a money scam.
I feel like that's kind of a dangerous game because if you're selling off pieces of the land to get this title. Like, there isn't a lot of land there, Shawn.
No, but think about it too. Like, what happens if like they hit like a buttload? Like, what if underneath there's a cave that's like filled with diamonds and rubies and gold, like all natural? Like, it's not like a pirate thing. You know what
happens? You know, I can tell you exactly what happens. Another bigger nation rolls in and they're like, "This is actually ours," and they're like, "No, we bought it on the internet." And you're like, "Yeah, that's cute."
Well, we declare war. Bang!
Yeah. That's exactly what happens. So you know what that means, Shawn? There are no rules. There are no rules in love and micronations.
There are rules for thee, but not for me.
This is the thing. Okay, so this is real talk. Okay, when it comes to
Richard's like real talk. Anarchy.
Okay, yes, kind of. Okay. When it comes to the actual business of creating a micronation, I feel like the only way to establish something and actually have it last for a long time is you basically have to put yourself up in a near inhospitable environment. Because if you are perceived as having nothing to take, then nothing will come to take anything from you. And the best example I can think of is Slab City. Have you heard of Slab City, Shawn? So Slab City actually exists in the US. It is in the high desert. Actually, it's in the California desert. It is I'm trying to think. It's like southern central-ish California. And it is essentially a completely lawless, godless group of houses. I'm putting air quotes around houses where it's just there's people that live there, but there's no laws. There's no police. It's fucking crazy. It's like I would the closest you would find to some sort of dystopian society would be Slab City.
So like you say that and it's like, well, that sounds kind of like that'd be nice, but the crime in there is like crystal meth is fairly common and counts for much of the crime in Slab City.
Yes. It's when I say lawless, I mean completely lawless, Shawn. Anything goes because the only thing that it's Mad Max. It is fucking Mad Max out there.
Well, I think you see that like you could say like in the Appalachian Mountains, like with a lot of the opioid stuff, like there's small places like that tied in there where it's sad because it's one of those things where it's like we should help people, we should send people in, and it's like you could. Not coming back out.
Yeah.
Like you kind of leave people just to
and
their
that's the thing. It's this combination of like, well, they're drug users, so who gives a shit? It's a combination of that sentiment on top of like it's a combination of like apathy and almost like will they deserve it kind of mentality. When it comes to that.
Yeah, and now it's not in my backyard kind of mentality too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that with stuff like that.
But I feel like that's the only way like an actual quote unquote micronation works is you basically have to put yourself up in near inhospitable conditions. And so that way nobody messes with you because it just doesn't seem worth the like you as a micronation do not seem worth the hassle.
Yeah, well, like the Slab City, like there's nothing there. So like even if they're not paying taxes, even if it's government land, they don't care. Like there's nothing there. They're not necessarily hurting anything. And it'd be more of a pain to go in there and like move people out.
Exactly. Like I said, it's not worth the hassle.
Yeah, but like here where I live, if I'm like, I'm making this a micronation, and I stop paying taxes and I start like making my own stuff here, like the state I live in is going to be like, you know what? Like, let's get rid of this guy.
Yeah, because you know why? Because you have things that actually hold some sort of value. You have land. You have resources.
Well, my neighbors will probably be pretty upset about it too.
Why would they be upset? Just because you have a giant flag with a lady's crotch on it.
Every time they pass us, say, you have to pay a toll. You're crossing through Ravenwood, pussy getter.
Damn flag.
Every morning over the loudspeaker, it's time for our national anthem. I like to welcome everybody to National Go Down on Your Woman Day. You said that yesterday, asshole. You're the asshole. It should be every day.
Yeah. Gladys, don't encourage him.
Officer, you have no rights.
He's spitting. That's all I'm saying. He's telling facts right now.
I mean, we can
Gladys, get in the house.
I mean, we can get annexed into Ravenwood, pussy getter. I mean, I wouldn't be upset about it. I mean, at least we could spend the holidays there.
We'll be invaded.
Police show up. I'm like, officer, you have no jurisdiction over here in Ravenwood, pussy bang.
Yep. Oh, shit, They got guns.
Yep. And then if I show that I have guns, oof, game over.
You've officially been upgraded from Ravenwood to Ruby Ridge.
Without the racism,
it's a whole different thing.
Were they racist? I don't remember. I listened to a little bit of that. Or were they just people that want to be left alone?
I don't know if they were. I don't remember if they were racist. I can't remember. I mean, obviously they were crazy, but I think they were on the. I think they were just like weird doomsday preppers. They were either weird doomsday preppers or they were like they're very they're anti-government too. I knew that. Yes.
Because that was in the whole push of like the like we gotta get rid of these like families of 12 people that are doing these things. Because I think the son got shot like when they came up there.
Like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was God, Shawn. That was like 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was like the mid 90s.
Yeah.
But it's probably a lot of those things too, where the government's finally like, you know what, like it's just not worth it. Like you try to do that thing. It never goes well, and then all of a sudden you got this huge PR thing.
Do you think that there are probably like a bunch of places in the US that are like, we're a micronation, and everybody's like, whatever?
Oh, I bet like, and they may not like call themselves micronations, but I bet there's places like that are completely isolated, that are in the middle of nowhere, that are like, we're just doing our own thing.
That sounds nice. I'm not, okay, I am not the kind of person that's like, I don't want to pay taxes. I'm sick of paying taxes. Like, I'm not that guy that's like, I want to live out in a cabin in the fucking woods so that way the government doesn't come and taxman doesn't come and get me. Like, I am so not that guy. However,
I don't want to pay taxes.
No, actually, no. See, that's the thing.
No,
it's not even the taxes.
Yeah,
it's just that, like, the thought of, like, if I'm in the middle of the woods in a cabin, and I'm like, I want to grow a field of marijuana, and then I'm gonna go down to, then I'm gonna sell it out of my driveway. Like, that'd be nice to like do that without the fear of, somebody showing up and throwing me in jail.
Well, it's just like anything with that. I think if you kept it small enough, you'd probably be fine.
Yeah, it's true.
It's all kind of like once you start getting kind of too big, or
say it out loud over the internet on a podcast.
There's that. But even then, I mean, it's like, some of those lower.
Don't say nobody listens.
Well, there's that. But it's just like, if you jaywalk. Like, obviously, like, if a cop sees you jaywalking, it probably just depends if they really want to deal with it. And there's lots of, like, different crimes like that where it's like, well, this is such a low, like, thing. Like, we're not even going to prosecute.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing. In all of those scenarios, you're at the mercy of basically the whims and mood of a given person that shows up at your house with a fucking badge.
Yeah, that's why I feel like all laws should be like laws that you actually want to enforce. Like jaywalking probably shouldn't be a law.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like why put that on the books? Because that it's like, well, nobody enforces it. Yeah, but they could. And then they're like, oh my gosh, you've got unpaid parking tickets. Well, why do we have parking tickets? I heard something, and I think it's like, if it's a law that fines you, it's a money-making scheme, basically. It's a moneymaker for the government. Like, it's not actually like a law for the good. It's just to make money for the government.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's actually a name for it that I can't think of right now, but...
Although I say that, and I could see, like, speeding and some things like that, there are, like, potential
Yeah, I mean, there's a potential danger to, driving 120 on a residential street.
Yeah, but maybe that's where, like, the law is actually you get the license taken away. I don't know.
I don't know.
Micronation may or may not fix that. But, so one of the investors, Stephen Rice, was asked, why wouldn't I invest? I can tell my friends that I own an island. So, Richard, as you would guess, there is an investment risk involved with this. So, Rice is dressed in his best quick-drying travel trousers and a suit jacket he brought all the way from the U.S., especially for the occasion. Rice was the second investor in this project after mayor, and he's been involved from the start. He even narrowly missed out on being elected head of state of the Principality of Islandia by 1 vote. So they had a vote.
Wow.
Rice says that this project is never going to make him rich, but the cost of the share always isn't going to bankrupt him. For Rice, it's primarily about having fun and fulfilling the dream of owning or co-owning an island. But I mean, so like I could see this, a great example, I think, but if you take out like the GameStop stonk situation, but like let's say, normalize how the GameStop stock is. Like let's say you're a huge GameStop fan and you're like, man, I just really want to own some GameStop. Like it's not going to break me. It's not going to make me rich. I just want to say that I own GameStop. Or like wrestling, WWE. It's a public traded company. You're like, I want to own some WWE stock because I love wrestling. Like, I'm going to buy a stock. It's not going to make me rich. It's not going to make me poor. I can just say that I own it. I get the feel that that's like how some of these people are with this is like, it's just a way to say that like, oh my God, I own an island.
Yeah, maybe. It's kind of like you have that friend that's like, I own 1 share of Apple.
Yeah. I own 1/1000th of Bitcoin. It's like, all right.
Yeah. Cool.
So, Richard, we asked this question earlier. Is this a force for good? So, Oscar D. Romero, the Belizean real estate agent who found Coffee KA for Let's Buy an Island, says the group needs to balance the environment and economic growth. He explains that they need environmental permits and clearance from the government for any development, with both mangroves and the nearby barrier reef having protective status. So they can't even really build on it.
Why do they need permits from the government? They're a micronation.
International waters? I'd be interested, Richard, like on this. I bet they still have to pay taxes to Belize.
See? Even when you think you own it, you don't own it.
Yeah, but kind of finishing up. So Meyer says that people really bought in the concept. It was a crazy leap of faith to take, but our initial goal of buying an island, we've done it. But the next phase, where we go to next, we never had any plans because we didn't know we'd make it this far. So it's kind of like a self-identified micronation. But yeah, like going into the future, what that means, I don't think they've really decided or know yet.
I mean, it'd be cool to see. Do you think all the countries that exist on the earth right now, like obviously I say the countries, we're talking about things that we created, like we drew the lines and said this country's here, this country's here. Do you think that all the countries that exist right now are the ones that are going to exist forever? Like, do you think that do you think that we are now past the point where nations rise and fall?
It's difficult to say because I've got like a theory that like, I feel like when we talk about like certain times that were like, this is kind of sci-fi thinking, but like if you were to tell me that there was a highly advanced human civilization pre our known like documents that stretched the world, and that was like 10,000 years before like we kind of like think of like times, not time starting, but like human kind of like evolution starting. Like I could believe that. Like you think 10,000 years from now, if some big tragic event happens, like they're not going to know we had this. Like they're not going to know that we're communicating over what we call the internet, right? Like they'll probably find some tools and stuff, be like these stupid early humans.
Sure.
So that being said, like I think I don't know what you're thinking, like thousands of years or even hundreds of years. I'd probably say not, because even if you look in the last 100 years, how much has changed? And especially with the news going on right now, like I think it just kind of shows how fragile everything really is.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't take much, I think, for stuff to start splitting.
How well, not necessarily even how much how fragile everything is, but how in some ways like there are a lot of assumptions that I think that we just take for granted.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking like like if you're thinking like world, because in this time
I guess
frame,
what I'm saying is like, okay, like take like, I don't know, the country of Austria. Do you think that in 100 years or 200 years or 500 years, do you think that Austria will still exist, or will Austria have, fallen over and a new country named, I don't know, New Austria, like taken its place?
It could. I don't think you could say it couldn't. I think, and it's really difficult, I think, for us to think about that because, the world stage has been pretty stable in terms of like nations for the last since like 1990 when the Soviet Union fell. Like that's like 30, 40 years. And even then, like you think like big wars, like World War II is really the biggest war. That's coming on like a century ago. Yeah. And so I think in our mind we can say like, well, I mean, like we're very interdependent. It's kind of like a world, like the world depends on every nation. So yeah, they may not agree on how things work, but they rely on each other for certain things. Like,
well, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think a country like the Principality of Islandia would eventually rise to become, in 500 years, rise and become this encompassing nation that has like, a bunch of other islands and has a thriving economy and
like that one? No, I just don't think there's enough of resources there. I guess in comparison, it'd be like, I'm going to start my own Apple. Like just doing that right now. Like,
what about the country of Ravenwood?
Pussy Getter?
Yeah, Ravenwood Pussy Getter.
Richard, that country could fuck the world.
It will last for 1,000 years.
Yeah, I always think those are kind of interesting. I feel like they're just more kind of like pandering, kind of being like, oh, we're a micronation. And like you said earlier, everybody's like, all right, whatever. Good on you.
Things are always rising and falling, am I right?
Yeah, especially here at Ravenwood Pussy Getter.
That's how you close it.
Yeah, but Richard, we talked about a new micronation. We created our own micronation. So what do you have for some Richard's closing thoughts?
Geopolitics are a very convoluted and fluid thing. And so I guess if you get a group of people and you decide you want to, dip your toe into the geopolitical stage, have at it. However, keep a weathered eye on the horizon for, I don't know, somebody to come knocking at your door. That's what I close the show with, a word of warning.
If you start a micronation, beware. All right, let me do a little bit of housekeeping because here at Ravenwood Pussy Getter, we always close the day out with some extra work in the bedroom. Not really. Yeah. My wife's asleep. But I'm trying to sleep. Okay, I'll be quick. How's that feel? Great, babe. Oh, great.
Did you just blow your nose in it?
Not on purpose. All right, I'll go sleep on the couch.
Yes, I think you better add.
Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com, and also you can find us on our new website. Follow us on Twitter.
Pussygetter.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LanguageBro, and email us at bros@languagebromance.com. And also, we like to thank, these are going to be, in our new micronation, these are going to be people that we send out.
The head of our not secret police and our Secretary of State.
Yeah, Aaron could be the secretary of our theme song and secretary of our national anthem.
National
and Wendy.
anthem.
I think we should just make Wendy president.
Ba, 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 da, ba, ba, da, ba.
All right. Was there anything else before I close her out?
Nah, we're good.
All right. Well, that's all the brunch for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why. Be a why not.
All hail Ravenwood Pussy Getter.
I pledge allegiance to the pole with the female genitalia as a flag.